Hello, Floss Tube. This is Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Monday. It is the 15th of May, and I am back for Floss Tube number 69. Regular Floss Tube number 69. I recorded Chart of the Week number 100 and something this weekend and posted it. But for regular Floss Tube, this is number 69. Welcome. How are you? I hope all the mothers out there had a wonderful day yesterday. Mine was good. It was quiet, which was kind of how I wanted it. I spent a little time. My plan, as I'd said in my other video, my plan was to work on the basement, but life had other plans. And I have learned to just kind of go with the flow. So I did a little cleaning up here on the main level and made dinner, and I did absolutely no stitching, which was my intention for the afternoon, but I did no stitching. Dan and I did watch a good movie last night on Netflix. It was called The Mother, and it was a Jennifer Lopez movie. It was really good. Very intense, and I couldn't watch it and stitch at the same time. There was just too much going on, and you needed to watch it and not just listen to it like I normally do. So it was a good day. I heard from all three of the kids. Alex is still, for those of you who don't watch, do a lot of you not watch the Chart of the Week? I don't know. If you didn't watch the Chart of the Week, then you wouldn't know. Alex she went to San Francisco on a business trip and came home with COVID, so she's been really sick. So I didn't see her in person, but she did call and wish me a happy Mother's Day, and she's recovering, but she had it pretty bad. So she's still not. She's been sick for a full week now and still not feeling great, but a little bit better. Adam video called his wife, who is also a mother, of course. She just wanted a quiet day at home, so which I can totally understand. So they didn't come over, but he did video call and said he would be happy to come and put up I had ordered some Blink cameras for the exterior. We've got a lot of people breaking into cars in the neighborhood, and since my garage is completely full, my car sits on the driveway. So I would just feel a little bit better with a camera out there. So he said he would be happy to come and install them, but I didn't want him to do it yesterday. And Abby had surgery a week ago, so she was still at home taking things easy, but she did call and wish me a happy Mother's Day, so it was a good one. Dan always does something to make the day special, which I will share with you. I wish he was here, and maybe possibly I might wait till he comes home from work to show you what he gave me for Mother's Day, because it's something he made, and people have been asking for Dan to show up in a video. So perhaps I will wait until he comes home and maybe talk him into popping on and talking a little bit about what he made. So yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. So today, for those of you who maybe don't know what these videos are about, I will go over what I have been stitching on. I will go over any new acquisitions I have made. I will talk a little bit about the shop. I will talk a little bit about antiquing, and I will talk a little bit about retreat that happened 2 weekends ago. So I usually try and do the cross-stitch related things at the beginning and the antique things at the end, for those of you who are not interested in antiques. And I thought I would share with you, I finally took down what little Christmas we had up this year, which was very little to begin with, and it was more winter stuff. But I did finally get it taken down, and then everything just kind of sat bare. I didn't redecorate anything until just recently. So it was up until, I don't know, beginning of March. And then everything just sat undecorated until a few weeks ago. So I took some pictures of some of the vignettes that I have where I use the antiques that I have purchased for display here in my home. So I took some pictures of those, and I could maybe show those to you if you're interested. So I guess I'm going to start with shop information. I just want to keep pounding this into people's heads because it is confusing, and I know that. So I'm going to keep talking about it until I don't know when. My new location is confusing a lot of people. It is in an office building. It is not a typical retail space. So it is in an office building. It is a red brick building. If you're standing in the front of the building, the police station and the city offices for Bellevue are going to be to your back. As you're staring at the front of the building, on the left side, it will have the numbers 1620, which is the address. On the right side, there's going to be some lawyers' names because there's a lawyer's office right there in that corner. And they've been there a long time, and that's how they let people know that they were... My hair didn't cooperate this morning. That's how they let people know that they're there. Now, the landlords are putting up a monument sign that is going to be to the south end of the building as you're standing there looking at the front side of the building. There's a sidewalk on the left side. There's a parking lot on the left side. There's a parking lot on the right side. There's a sidewalk leading up to the bump out on the front of the building, which is where the doors are. So you will walk in those doors, and you will take the elevator down one level to the first floor. So when you walk into the building, you're on the second floor. Now, there is some difficulty in finding the shop, the building, because for some reason in Bellevue, you could be on a street heading, Highway 370 heads north and south, no, east and west. And on one side of the road, there's a street called Robin. And on the left side, if you're heading east on 370, is Willshire Drive, which is the address for this building. Unfortunately, the trees have now got leaves on them, and you can't really see that sign. So if you're looking for the sign for Willshire, you're probably going to miss it. My best helpful hints are, as you're heading east and coming into Bellevue proper, like older town Bellevue, there is a blue in the median, a blue police station, or it says police on it in the median. If you see that sign, you know you're getting close. Then on the right side, you're going to see the sign that says Robin. And on the left side, you're going to see two auto parts stores with a street running between them. The street that runs between the two auto parts stores is Willshire Drive. So if you see the auto parts stores, you know you're going to be turning left. This is, again, assuming you're heading east on Highway 370. You turn left, you go up the hill, the building will be on your left side. Like I said, there's a parking lot on either side of the building. You come in the doors, take the elevator down, and there I am. Hopefully that will help clear things up. Like I said, the monument sign is up, but there's nothing on it. Hopefully there will be, currently it's just running Mr. Car Shipper, which is the owner of the building. And I believe the Glory Tabernacle has theirs is going on the sign, and then there'll be the names of all the other places on that sign eventually. But you can believe that you are in the right place if you're at the red brick building with the lawyers' names on it and the numbers 1620. That is me. Hopefully this is going to help the confusion. So I got that taken care of. I also mentioned in the weekend's video about upcoming vacation. It's not until the end of June. I haven't decided on the dates yet, but I did want to just start mentioning it so people who travel over the holiday and are maybe thinking about stopping in will not get frustrated by my being closed, because I'm letting you know as far in advance as I possibly can. Sometime between the 26th of June and the 7th of July, I'm going to be gone. It might be for the entire time, but I haven't decided yet. I can't decide. I would like a little bit longer vacation, but I'm not sure how much time I want to spend in a non-air conditioned building at the end of June and the first part of July. So yeah, there's that. So you can mark that on your calendars. Call before you come if you're coming any kind of a distance or you can look on the Facebook page, because I will have the actual dates that I will be closed, and I will be closed because I have no one to cover for me. So Facebook is a good place to look. I always post closings and problems like computer issues, things like that on Facebook. The website has a calendar, so if you check the calendar, that I try and keep up to date, and I will post those dates as soon as I have decided for sure what they'll be. There'll be a message on the phone saying when that I'm closed until such and such a date. So those are the three. Just call before you come, so you don't get upset or disappointed or hurt or frustrated and anything like that to find me gone. This happens every year. This is the one time when we have gone up to the Sandhills of Nebraska since I was a baby, probably before I was a baby. I would imagine that they went before I was born also. So it's kind of been our family's thing, and we are trying to keep that tradition going, even though most of the family has passed away. My cousins are from Colorado are going to come in for the holiday, and my aunt and uncle are still alive, so they're planning to be there. So, and then Adam and family are coming, and Melanie and family are coming, so we're looking forward to it. Okay, for those of you that have bored for the first 15 minutes of this, I apologize, but I wanted to get that in there before people tune out. If I leave it to the end, a lot of people are already gone, and then you don't hear the news. So let's start with, what do I want to start with? Let's back up a couple of weeks. We'll go back in time to retreat. It was spring retreat. It was April 27th through the 30th, I believe. 27, 28, 29, 30. Yes, 30th. We had 24 people, including Connie and I. So it was a small group, which I don't mind at all, having a small group. We had an anatomic ranch trunk show, and we had Ooh, the magnets. I'm drawing a blank now. Accoutrement Designs magnet needle minder trunk show. And I kitted up a little free pattern that I got at Market from Heart and Hand. Let me grab that for everybody. This was a no frills retreat that had a little bit of a frill. I made a, do I have that? I wonder what I did with mine. Oh, there it is. I do have it. Hold on. So I, generally speaking, make an Ort container for every retreat, whether it's a frills retreat or not. And so this year I took 2 teeny tiny little embroidery hoops, added a bottom to it, a little bit of suede mat board, and then put 2 pieces of Dove candy in there. And this goes on people's beds as just a little welcome to retreat gift. So that was their Ort container this year, and I got a lot of compliments. I just thought it was kind of a silly idea, nothing special. It was certainly easy enough, but a lot of people really liked them. So, although my friend Doreen was a little confused. She didn't realize it was an Ort container, but she figured it out. So they got that, and then, like I said, I kitted up that, and I don't have the chart. I probably have the chart. It's probably over in the drawer, though. I kitted up a freebie from Heart and Hand. It came out at Market, and I gave them the floss and the fabric, and then a round circle for finishing. It's meant to be finished on the cream-colored heartware bowl, which I only had one of, and I didn't really want to use it for the model. So I did a little bit different finish on mine. At Market, I went to Joseph's Workshop, and he had these pretty lace baskets, and so I mounted mine in the lace basket. Did I have that upside down? I did. There. Maybe now it makes more sense. But it fits perfectly in that. There's a little indented part, and it fits perfectly in that indentation. Now I think I just used like bits and odds and ends of fabric. I think most everyone got Vintage Smoky White for their fabric, because I had a lot of it, but I didn't have quite enough of it. So a few people got, this is vellum, I think, from Picture This Plus. I just used scraps of that for the 3 or 4 people that I didn't have the other for. And then the people who I knew one person would want Ada, and I knew another person would want Lugana, so I gave them something similar in those fabrics. So everybody got the fabric that they were comfortable working on. It's a 32 count, and I used the DMC version because really there's not much. You're not going to see a whole lot of variegation in that. So just another idea, if you like the chart and you don't have a heartware bowl, this lace basket works well. I do have some on order because I've sold the ones I had, but I do have some on order. So that was just a kind of a surprise gift for everybody. Retreat was good, with the exception of, and I'm just going to be honest and open with you guys. I try to be honest and open all the time. Retreat was good with the exception of the food this time. was not quite up to par. I have talked to Calvin Crest, and they're going to, they thanked me for my input, and they're going to try and do better in the fall. So, and it's not like there's nothing to eat. You know, there is. I was a little disappointed. I can understand why people didn't go over and eat one particular meal, because I'm sorry, but the name ham balls just doesn't, it doesn't sound good. They weren't bad, you know, and you're talking to the pickiest eater on the planet here. They were not bad. It was kind of like I don't know, I think it was ham and maybe hamburger together. I could be wrong there, though. Formed into a ball, kind of, I don't know, a little bit smaller than a baseball. And then it had, I would guess, kind of a honey barbecue sauce on the top of it. And I am not a fan of honey barbecue or any barbecue sauce, but I still went and ate it, and it was edible. And, you know, is it something that I would go and beg for again? Probably not. Although several people that I talked to that did eat said it was very good, and they wished they'd gotten 2 meatballs, which they could have probably, because half the people did not go over and eat. So, and they tried a new chicken cacciatore recipe, which chicken breasts are just notoriously hard to cook well. And it did not go over well. So I suggested maybe we leave off chicken breasts completely, because they're just hard to cook and get correct. So otherwise, retreat was a great time. I think everybody had a pretty good time. We had a little pin pillow exchange. The only rules were, A, it had to be a pin pillow, and B, it had to be predominantly red. And I should have taken a picture of mine. I did take a video of all the pin pillows, so if I can figure out how to attach it, I will show you a video of that. Mine, I don't know how to point mine out. Mine was on a darker fabric. It was a darker color red, and it had a little pin in it with charm hanging off of it. So, but this is the one that I received. Very pretty red. And then the back looks like that. Very cute.
Hey, look at that raccoon that came by her last night. Probably do. So, is there ever something about your friend over here?
There is nothing I can do about her. I have just learned to love her as she is.
She tried to have me institutionalized. She tried to find a place that would take me. So I'm up for grabs, you know, just saying. Just saying.
Don't everybody run at once.
Nobody wanted my Instagram account. Hey, you're up to negative 66 now. She just friended me so she can unfriend me.
Well, you're never on there, so what does it matter?
I am too. I have 12 pictures on there.
When? When was the last time you posted one?
November, when I had my hand surgery.
See?
You're fine. It's okay.
No.
Fine, I'll post something. I'll take a picture of something.
It's not like it's written down.
Yeah, right.
So I will add that to my, I have a bowl of pin pillows that I keep. Currently it is downstairs because it went downstairs when it was Christmas time and hasn't come back up. But I gotta bring it back upstairs. So so that went well. We had more participants this time than we normally do. Normally we get, I don't know, 10, maybe 12. And we had, I think it was 18 or 19 participated this time, which I thought was wonderful, and I sure appreciated it. And I want to thank everyone for participating, and I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you'll do it again if we do an exchange again in the future. So that went well. We did mini mania. Did I mention this would probably be a long video? I think it's going to be a longer video. It's already 24 minutes, and I haven't even started showing you much. But we did mini mania, which, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar or are watching for the first time, it's my version of mania, which is, I think, the original thought was a new start every day. So like when it was 2015, I think it was the first year, and they did a new start for the first 15 days of the month, and now they're up to, this is the 23rd, 2023, so I think they did a new start for 23 days of the month. That is too much for me. I can't wrap my brain around that. So I have done mini mania at retreat the last couple of years, and it's a new start for the first 4 days of retreat, if you're there for all 4 days, 3 if you don't come till Friday. And you work on that for the first 4 hours of the day, and then you switch to whips. And your starts can become whips, so you can touch them more than once if you want. And there isn't any mania police walking around going, oh, hey, you're breaking the rules. So it's just kind of a fun activity. And then we lay them out on the tables, everything that we've worked on, so everyone gets to see what everyone has been working on. In the past, before we started doing mini mania, people work on things and then they stick them back in their bag, and unless you're up and walking around all the time, you never see what people are working on. So this way we all get to see all the pretty. I did take videos of that too, and I'll have to see if I can get those. They're on my phone, and this is my PC, so it's a process to get them over to, because again, not a tech person. But if I can, I will show you that, so that you too can see everything that everyone worked on. What?
Anytime Lise came around, you got sick.
Yep.
You remember, that's why he called her typhoid.
Connie, is Julian
Yes,
is reflections on his screen?
yes.
That's what it is.
It's one and the same.
It's all the same.
So at reflections? There it is, I got it.
I'm on. I'm on. I'm on. I'm on. I'm on.
not announced it.
You think she's gonna see if anything else sounds wrong? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think so. It's got mascara on it, would you like it?
I have one of those. I think the blue one.
It's great for getting a little further.
Oh, here, yeah. And I hope Mickey runs for president.
Yeah, you have to figure out the first, so
Oh, yeah. The only thing I remember about vodka was all the
And it was included as one or two, didn't they? Wasn't it?
I think so. I just remember the really droll voice they used for it.
Yes.
you can get like a bag of
It was.
you can get a bag of choose it included.
That makes a huge difference. Oh, you're a super. Now what do I do with it?
Good old lady.
That was a year. That was a year. That was,
All the years I remember that.
I've been hanging around you too long. Oh, it's all like. Yeah, because Dan No, that was his BP.
I'm sorry, Connie,
Floss
we're gonna have to take it away
I just
from
don't
her and
know
give it
who
back
really
to
gets
you.
it.
I don't think she's deserving of the mascara brush.
It's way too advanced.
Are you qualified?
To take away that sharp needle from her, okay?
Clearly.
It did have that, I don't even know why I want to tell you anything more about it.
I'd tell you, but you might kill yourself.
I know my
Okay, I don't mind it all anyway. It used to have a little rhinestone in the cap.
What'd you do?
On the other.
Well, no wonder you did just a good job of taking it. All you need is that one tiny one.
That's not big enough, sweetheart. Trust me.
I will be showing you what I worked on. I don't know if you want to see. Sometimes I wish you could talk back. Sometimes I don't, but sometimes I wish you could talk back. So if I asked you a question like right now, I could get an immediate response. I took way more, like my eyes were bigger than my stomach kind of thing. So I took way more than I could ever work on. And then I just didn't, for some reason, I didn't get a whole lot of stitching time. So a lot of things didn't get touched. So I don't know if you want to see what got touched and what didn't get touched, or just what got touched. So it'd be almost kind of like a mini whip parade if I show what didn't get touched. So if you want to put that in the comments as to whether you would like to see what didn't get touched, I will record like a part B and show you those items too. If you're interested. If you're not, that's fine too. I took a lot of things that I hadn't touched in a long time. So, because they were just, languishing. So I wanted to touch some things that I hadn't looked at for a while and maybe get a little progress on them. And it didn't work out exactly like I had hoped, but I still managed to stitch on a couple of things that hadn't been looked at. I ripped some out on one that I'll talk about later. But so that's pretty much how retreat went. In my opinion, it was a good time. I had most of the people there said they'd love to come again. So hopefully fall retreat will be, I don't know if fall will be a no frills retreat or not. I haven't come up with a Stacy, who's my bookkeeper, but she's also a customer and a friend, and Stacy has a very analytical mind, and she keeps track. She's almost like the historian, and she keeps track of everything. So she has a list, a spreadsheet maybe, of all the different retreats that, even when I didn't own the shop, I was kind of in charge of the retreats. So she has a list of all the retreats from the very, very first retreat we ever went on, which there were only like 10 of us, right up through today. And, what the dates were, what the theme was, if there was a theme, yada, yada, yada. And she called me over and she says, "Hey, Julie." I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Did you know that in fall of 2024, it will be our 30th retreat?" I said, "No, I didn't know that." That's a little mind-blowing. I'm like, no wonder I can't come up with anything new to have as a theme. That's a lot of retreats. Now, not all of them had a theme, but it's still a lot of retreats. So she said, "I think you should start working on that one now. And it's got to be special because it's number 30. And I'm like, oh, really? But, of course, she put the thing in my head. So now when I'm laying in bed awake at night or in the shower, I'm running through ideas on what we could do for the 30th retreat. And what came to me was that Paulette from Plum Street Samplers was the very first, she wasn't part of the very first retreat, but she was part of the first frills retreat. She designed the piece for that retreat. She has designed 2 of our retreat pieces, but that was the first one she designed, was hers. The theme was friendship, and that chart is still available. I can't remember the name of it now, but she designed the very first frills retreat. So I thought it might be fitting to maybe have her design, if she would, to have her design one for the 30th retreat. So I sent her an email. She was out of town, I think, at Quilter Station or something, and sent her an email and asked her if she would be at all interested in designing something for our 30th retreat. Kind of like, what goes around comes around, or the circle of life, or something, that's not a theme or anything. It's just how I was thinking in my head it would be kind of appropriate to have her design the 30th, since she designed the first one. So I heard back from her this week, and she said she would be happy to do that. So I'm going to have to contact her and try and talk to her a little bit about what her thoughts are, and maybe what my thoughts are, and get going on that, because it takes a long time to pull together something, especially something as special as a 30th retreat. So I'm not sure if there will be anything, or whether October will be a frills or a non-frills, but I'm leaning more toward no frills. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll have a little frill, a mini frill, something like that. So anyway, that I've rambled on about retreat long enough. We had a good time. Yeah, they're going to work on the food. Accommodations are always, it's a church camp. It's not the Ritz-Carlton. It's church camp. It's out in the middle of nowhere. The setting is beautiful. Usually the food is decent, but it's not fancy, and so yeah. But it has air conditioning and heating, so it's got one leg up on my summer vacation. All right, so let's move on to what I worked on at retreat. That's where we'll go next, is what I worked on at retreat. Then I've got some finishes. I already showed you the stitch one, so that was one of my finishes. But I have 4 other finishes. They're just small though. 5 if you count the one that I did for the exchange that I should have taken a picture of and didn't. But that's okay. That's all right. Okay, so before retreat, I had posted a picture on Instagram of Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. Yes. No, not Autumn. Not Autumn. Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain. That's the one I had posted a picture of, with the floss and the fabric that I fell in love with that I brought back from market, which is 25 count old top hat from Dames of the Needle. And asked whether that should be one of my starts for Mini Mania, and everyone said yes. So I will start with that one because I did start it. I'm still in love with this fabric. Sometimes you see a fabric and it's just like you fall in love with it and you've got to find something to stitch on it. And this was that one of those cases, excuse me. Fell in love with the fabric, needed to find something, thought about Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, but then decided on Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain instead. I have worked on it since retreat, so I didn't get all of this done. But I think I got that part done at retreat. This border, you gotta really be thinking when you're doing that. It is not an easy border. But I think it's looking good on this fabric, and I love this fabric. I did change this color. It's supposed to be a DMC because I'm using the DMCs, but I did change it to an overdyed. I didn't bring the floss over here with me, but I changed it to an overdyed just because I wanted there to be a little bit of movement in that moon. And then I'll do the same in this moon. So the rest is yet to be determined as to whether I will make any further changes on whether I'll use an overdyed or not. But currently I am just thinking that I am going to do just the DMC. But that could change. So that was I think that was my Thursday start. I think. It doesn't really matter. So this, I'll show you it here real quick. This is my case of things that I worked on. And this, which is overstuffed and you can't really tell how much is in it, is my case of things that didn't get touched at retreat. Far more of those than there are of the others. Okay, so next up, this is an old one. It is Garden Fair from Courtney Collection. Yeah, Courtney Collection. I don't know why I haven't finished this one. It is still one of my all-time very favorite pieces. But for some reason I put it away and hadn't looked at it for years. I did not get very far. That part you see down here is all I got done. But is that not gorgeous? I am using what's left of my Carrie's Creations Raven Floss, which is just it was her black, and I'm using Belsois Tulip for the red. But like I said, I don't know why I stopped working on it, because it's absolutely stunning. Why, George? My peacock got a little bit of love, not a lot, just a little. For those of you who aren't familiar with my peacock, it is Peacock and Scrolling Roses from Antique Needlework Designs. I think it's Designers. I don't have my glasses on. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Colors are stunning. It's all DMC, but there's a lot of them. And it looks like that. And you're asking me, what did you get done, Julie? Well, I got a little bit of this done over here and then over here. So again, not a ton, but any progress is better than zero progress. And again, this is a beautiful piece. I need to get working on it again so it gets done. I have another one I want to do. This one has red roses on it though, which is weird because I don't really like roses. They don't last very long. I'm more of a carnation person because they last longer. Donna, Doreen, me, Kim. I can't think who else had this. Rosie had this brilliant idea. You know, back in the day, we had stitched Polyvon pieces, and we still like them. We still have some we'd like to stitch, so we thought having a start along would be a good idea. And then we started them and we remembered why we had quit stitching them. But I did start it. It is going to be the November from Quilts for All Seasons. It's a cool book. Here's some of the different designs in it. I've stitched. No, maybe I haven't stitched out of this one. I've done several Polyvons over the years, but you just kind of tend to forget how fussy they are. So, there, it's going to be that way. You're going to have to look hard to find my start, because again, they're very fussy. And this is, I believe, 40 count, and that was another stupid thing I did. Oh, let's do a Polyvon on 40 count. We love all those quarter stitches and half stitches and 3/4 stitches. You betcha. That's really brilliant idea. Not. So there's my start. And I remember vividly why I gave these up, because you got to really concentrate or you lose your way when it comes to all those little 1/4 stitches. So it will be nice when it's done, but you know, is it at the top of my list? No. No, I'm afraid not. What do we have in here? This is another one that is I've been, you know, I've had started for a very long time. It is out of print. I have never seen it secondhand anywhere. The stitch count on this lovely, lovely thing is 578 by 941. So if you do it on a, you know, it calls for 28 count flax. I would imagine it's more than a yard that you would need. I would imagine. I haven't figured it out, but I would imagine it's more than a yard. So this is the piece sampler. It's by a Stitcher's Hands. It is, the colors are absolutely stunning. They're a Verissois. But Julie, in all her, you know, stupidity, is thinking, well, I'm not going to do that on, you know, over a yard. It needs to be smaller. So I decided I would try it, 40 count over 2. It was still, the piece of fabric was still going to be a yard of fabric. So then I decided to do, let's just do it 40 count over 1 with a 10 stitch, which I have done before, but not on something that's this big. So it got put away because I couldn't decide whether I wanted to restart it on something, you know, go back to 40 over 2 or 25 count over 1, or what I wanted to do. So I took it with me, thinking I would make up my mind, you know. I'd either decide I was going to start over and I'd pull a different piece out, or I was going to work on it the way it was, and I ended up working on it the way it was. And so this is all I have done. And what I got done was this part here, and this looks like an upper lip to me, but it's actually the bottom of this thing, flower. So that, worked on that. Colors are absolutely stunning. But I don't know that I'm going to live long enough to finish it. I would like to, but I don't know. I started working on it and I was like, oh, well, this really isn't that bad. Why did I stop? I don't know why I stopped. Maybe I just got overwhelmed, because it's huge. I had at one point, let me get that back out. I had I don't like the verse. It's not me. It's, could we forbear disputes and practice love, we should agree as angels do above. Weak though we are, to love is no hard task. So love for love is all that heaven doth ask. It's not terrible, but it's not really me. So I had thought about cutting part of it out. I'm not sure which part, but possibly this part I would cut out, just to make it a little bit smaller. I don't really think it's going to make that big a difference because it's so big, but you know, you think you play these mind games. You do. That's what it is. It's a mind game. Okay. Which one are you? Beloved. Beloved, beloved, beloved. Beloved did not get a whole lot of work done to it. I started. That's as far as I've gotten. Originally my thought was just to do the birds, but then I saw the whole finished piece at market and it was really, really pretty, And so I decided, well, I'll start it with the border, and I can always decide not to do the border, right? So this would go this way. That's what I got done in 4 hours. Colors are beautiful, but it's not much to write home about as far as how much I got done. But the colors are pretty. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I encourage all of you to stitch it. And let's see. The last one that, no, not the last one, second to last one, that saw a little bit of love was my Hawk Run Hollow. I am doing the villages of Hawk Run Hollow. No, yes, the village of Hawk Run Hollow. And I have rearranged a little bit because I didn't like the school by the cemetery. My cemetery is going to be in the middle. The church is down here. This is going to be over there. And this went up that way. So it's my own version. And I'm working on that church. So I got the windows filled in. The stained glass windows. And that is all that happened. But not bad. Not bad. I'll take it. See, there's my top row with the... I guess I moved City Hall to the middle and the school over to the side. It's been so long, I don't remember what I did. Okay. So that, okay. One last one. And I have continued working on it since I got home because I have a goal to finish this one. It's within sight. I can almost taste the finish. Excuse the missing half of the picture because the dogs got a hold of it and ate it. But it's the quilting bee from the Blue Flower. This is being stitched on 40 count Lagoon. I started this right after the market that it came out in, and I don't know which year that was because, oh, copyright 2018. So I started this right after market in 2018, and I've worked on it off and on, but I am really close to being done. It's, like I said, Lagoon. I know other people have finished theirs on Lagoon. I got a lot of calls after I showed it the very first time. What fabric is that? So I know a lot of people have stitched it on the Lagoon. So basically what I have left is the motifs. I've got this one started. So I have, to finish that one, I have this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So it's not, you know, the finish is within sight if I just keep working on it every day. But I kind of got distracted by Autumn on Lazy Bear, so I haven't worked on it for a week now. Perhaps tonight is when I will work on it. Let me see. These, Lori, one of the stitchers, had brought some stuff that she was going to get rid of. So I went through her bag of goodies, and I found these two that I think would be beautiful on 40 count over 1 with the tent stitch. These are the silver lining. I don't know that they're still designing. I could be wrong. But I thought that was really pretty. Iris is my favorite flower. Purple iris. Pink is okay. She didn't have any purple irises, or I would have taken that. And then I thought this rose was really pretty. But I think they both be stunning over one on 40 count vol, you know, the even weave that I'm currently unable to think of what it's called. It starts with a V. Okay, so that is everything that I worked on at retreat. If you want to see the things that I took that I didn't, leave a comment in the comment section and I could record a second, like a part 2 kind of thing. I have worked on one other thing. It went to retreat, but it didn't get touched at retreat because it's kind of a long story. So this is a piece that, again, I started right after it came out, and its copyright is 2009, long time ago. And I chose my own colors. And one of the colors that I had chosen was a Valdani color. And of course, naturally, I did not write it down as to what its name or number was. And then it got separated from the rest of the flosses for some reason. And I couldn't find it. And then I ran across it, but didn't remember what it went to. It was in with something it wasn't supposed to be. And I didn't know what it was for, and so I didn't take it out of there like I should have, because I didn't remember I should have. And so it's lost somewhere in a project bag in this house, and I haven't been able to find it again. So I decided I would rip out what I had in that particular color and try and use a different color, which is what I have done. So it's Panoply, I think is how you pronounce it, of Posies, a Quaker motif sampler with a history from Tempting Tangles. Looks like that. And somewhere out there, and I don't know if they still watch, there was a lady who wanted my conversion. But I had lost that color, and I told her when I found that color, I would let her know. Like I said, I can't find it. So I ripped out what I had done in that particular color, and I have replaced it with a different color. And that, so the colors that I am currently using for this piece, which is going to be an issue on one of them because I believe it's a Carrie's creation. For one of them is this says this is 36 count American chestnut. No wonder I'm not liking the coverage. But what I am using is Carrie's Creation Bullfrog, which is a greenish color, greenish bluish color. For the corners, you know, for this color, which is supposed to be a classic Colorworks silk. So Belsoise silk. Hold on. Yeah. It's supposed to be Mare Blue. Or if you're going to use just classic Colorworks, Bejeweled, which is a really bright blue-green, and I didn't care for it. So at the time, Carrie was still in business, and I was still carrying her threads, and I liked that color, so that's what I used. My other color is used brick from Classic Colorworks, so kind of that reddish color. And now I have replaced the red, just FYI, is supposed to be Harvest from Classic Colorworks Belsoise, or barn door if you're using just the regular Classic Colorworks, the cotton. And then baguette in the silk and muddy puddle in the cottons. I don't happen to like muddy puddle, so it's gotten a little green over the years, a little more green than what I like. So I am using Cocoa Bean from Dinky Dyes, which is a silk. And yes, I am mixing silks and cottons together because this most closely resembled the color that I liked. So let me take it off the Q-snap so you can see it. It was probably not confusing at all, was it? I think the color is okay. It's not perfect, but I think it's going to look okay once it's all done. Sometimes I have to just get out of my own head, which is oftentimes hard to do. So there you go. There's the cocoa bean right there in the middle there. I think it looks okay. So I had to rip out, I had that most of that motif done. It's this motif right here. I had most of it done. So I had to rip all that out. So that's why it didn't get any attention at retreat, because I had to rip it out. But apparently that is stitched on 36 count American chestnut. Go figure. That must have been before I decided no more 36 count. Okay. I think that's it for things that I have stitched on. So let us go on to things I have finished. And then we'll go on to antiques. So at Market, I picked up some kits from Sampler Not Forgotten, which are they're kitted with 36 count, which I refuse to stitch on now, although apparently not. So I decided to change the fabric to 40 count, and I decided to darken it up. So this is from Samplers Not Forgotten. It is called, I think, Key to My Heart. And I stitched it on 40 count 18th century Blackbird. I finished these myself, so the heart is a little bit wonky. See, this comes in a little bit. That's probably got more to do with the fact that I can't sew straight, but it is what it is. It's finished. It's got trim on it. It's got its bow. It's got its little charm. I like it on the gray. I think it looks pretty. I also picked up, this one is stuffed completely with, fiber fill. Normally I do walnut crystals with a little fiber fill at the top, which is what this is. This was also a kit that came out at Market called the Regal Bird Kit from Samplers Not Forgotten. I am currently out of them, but I have more that should arrive within the next week or so. Kimberly said she'd let me know when she shipped them. I haven't heard from her yet, but I haven't looked at my email since Saturday. So I made a few changes on this. I do not have the colored picture. I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. But again, I put it on the 18th century Blackbird. These flowers, this one for sure I know was blue. I think this one was blue also. But blue. So I don't mind a little bit of blue, but I didn't want the flowers all blue. So I used the reds from the bird in the flowers. I did this one mostly with the darker red and this one mostly with the lighter red. And I think it turned out really cute. It's tiny. I think there was a border on it and I opted to leave the border off. It also came with a ribbon and a charm, and I didn't want to use those either. And this is not from this year. This was from last year, I believe. Also from Sampler Not Forgotten. And it looks like that. Again, it was supposed to have a charm. I just didn't feel like that it needed the charm on this one. So I had started it last year, didn't finish it, so I was kind of on a roll with finishing little pillows. So I finished it up and then finished it. And again, I stuffed the first part up here with fiberfill, because if you're going to display it in this position and you're using the walnut shells, which is what I use on the rest of it, they'll sink down and you'll have nothing in your corners, and then when you send it to the state fair they ding you for that. So I came up with my own solution to keep it. So it's stuffed pretty good with walnut crystals, but it has fiber filled up here in the very top, so it stays filled. And then this last one is from Market this year. It is from Summer House Stitchworks. It is the first in the Fragments in Time for 2023, which is based on Berlin wool work. And it looks like that. And that's the back of it. And again, it's stuffed with a little bit of fiberfill, and then the rest is walnut crystals or shells. It's a really pretty series. So those are my finishes. And that's probably what will end up going to Market or the state fair. Because if I get the quilting bee done, I don't know that I'd get it framed in time. I would try, but I don't know that I can still do it. Okay, so for those of you who are not interested in antiques, thank you for watching if you hung on in this far. That is all of the cross-stitch stuff that I have to show you. The rest is things that I picked up on a quick antiquing trip. Nothing too spectacular, but I had fun. And the one thing I'm not quite sure what I'll do with yet, I just thought it was kind of cool. So I'm going to show you those items, and then I will let you go until such time as Dan comes home and see if he wants to be in the video and show you what he made for me. Oops. Okay, so first thing, trying to take the string off because I did not do that yet, but you may have to just overlook the string. First thing I found 2 tomatoes to add to my collection. I don't think they're particularly old, but I like this one because it had a little strawberry hanging on it, and it's smaller. So, and I like to vary the size. I found this Best Made Needles, which I thought I love the graphic on it. And, I display these with some of those pokey flower frogs, the ones with the spikes. You can stick that in the spikes and then it'll display it. I also found, again, I got these for the graphics. They're needles, But I liked the graphic on the front, and again, I'll use them for display. These are two different looking ladies too. I don't know if you noticed that, but they're in the same position, but they're definitely different. Okay, so this is the one that I got. It's a chicken feeder. I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. I haven't come up with an idea, but I thought it was really cute. Connie got one too. Hers is, I think, a little bit shinier maybe. Mine is pretty old and rusty and crusty. So, again, I don't quite know what I want to do with them, or with it, or whether it's just going to be kind of a cool display piece. I don't know yet. It was very reasonably priced, and I was like, well, yeah, why not? Next up are some books. I use books a lot for displays, to elevate things. Oh, I forgot one thing. I'll have to pause it and go get it. I like to choose them mostly for the color and what the binding looks like. Not necessarily for the content. This is Tom Brown's School Days by Thomas Hughes. So it's just words. There's no cool pictures or anything in there. I have no idea even what it's a book, so you know, it's part 1, chapter 1. The Browns have become illustrious by the pen of Thackeray and the pencil of Doyle within the memory of the young gentlemen who are now matriculating at the universities. That's a lot of words. That's a lot of words that I bought you just strictly for the cover, which is kind of cool. Red is oftentimes hard to find, and smaller is also hard to find for a reasonable price. And I don't like to pay more than, if it's over 10, forget it. I won't pay that. There was one there that I really wanted for 10, but these were a set of 4. Connie took 2 and I took 2, and we both agreed that if we were ever going to get rid of them, the other person could have the other 2 back, so the set would not be destroyed. But it's got a real pretty design. It's in another language, possibly German. This is the inside of the cover, but I'm going to guess it's German. So I have no idea what it's about, but this one does have pictures. So that was kind of fun. This one is, again, it's for the spine. There's nothing on the front. It's just, I got it because it's red and the spine is okay. This is the autobiography of Benvenuto Cellini. I don't know. I don't know who that is. Translated by John Addington Symonds. Oh, excuse me. But again, nothing special about the inside, no pretty pictures or anything. I got it strictly because it was red, it was reasonably priced, and it has something other than just a plain spine. So those will be put in the display here shortly. I have a couple of newer books that I would like to trade out for older books. And last but not least, and Connie found, oh no, I still have this. Never mind. I bought a pair Swiss, W-I-S-S. They're pinking shears, very heavy, I have the frame hanging on the wall at the shop with different pairs of scissors in it, and one of the pairs is actually kitchen shears. They're red though, which I kind of like the pop of red, but on the other hand, they're kitchen shears. So I bought these thinking maybe they would replace the red ones, but I haven't decided. But I don't actually own a pair of pinking shears. I have Connie's. I need to give them back to her. These probably, at a guess, I would say need to be sharpened. Can they sharpen pinking shears? I don't know. But they were like $6. So, and then finally, last but no, because I still, hold on. I want to go over there for a minute. Okay, I'm back. This is last but not least for the antiquing thing. Connie had found this, and I heard her go, "Oh, Julie," and so I turned around, and because we were both jockeying for position, she wanted to be ahead of me to find all the good stuff. I wanted to be ahead of her, and she got to that booth first. I went to the other across the aisle, and so I hear this, "Oh, Julie." She says, "Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes." So I closed my eyes, and she says, "Okay, you can look." And she's holding this in her hands. I think it's maybe the world's largest flower frog. I don't know. This baby is huge. It weighs a ton. Could be a weapon. There's no cracks in it or anything. It would hold a lot of scissors. And it was very reasonably priced. I saw some horribly unreasonable prices this time on flower frogs. Usually if I can pick them up for between $5 and $8, I'm okay with that price. I saw some that I have just recently paid $5 for, that they wanted $18 for. So I have a feeling that the days of flower frog collecting are going to be over for me, because I'm not paying $18 for one. It would have to be, these were just clear flower frogs. So it would have to be super duper special for me to pay that much for it. But this was very reasonably priced, so I went ahead and Connie didn't want it, so I took it. The other flower frog I have to show you, I don't think I've shown it. I could be wrong, but I don't think I have. I did not find it in an antique store. I happened to be on Etsy months ago, and I saw it, and I thought, oh, that's really unique and very pretty. And I pinned it. But at the time, I didn't want to spend the money because it wasn't inexpensive. And then I was on Pinterest again, maybe a month or so ago. And not Pinterest, Etsy. And it was still available. And I thought, well, it must be meant to be. So I bought it, and it finally came, and it is, again, like I said, it's a flower frog, but it is all metal. So it is 3 pieces. Let me take the things off. So you have the base, which is just a silver metal base. And then I'm going to call this the skirt, which is very pretty. It's got this pretty design along it, and the I don't know if they're cutouts, whatever it is. I don't know that really is helpful there. You can kind of see it over here now. Okay, and then the flower frog itself is also metal. Looks like that, but it's pretty solid. And I thought it was just really A, pretty, and B, unique. So I decided to go ahead and pay up for this. So it sits over there by my stitching chair. And I put my little scissors in there. There we go. All right. I think we've come to the end, which it was a long video. It'd be longer still if I showed you those ones that didn't get touched at retreat. I still have to show you what Dan made for me for Mother's Day, but again, I will probably maybe just pause this until he gets home. It's 3:21. He'll be home in about an hour and 15-20 minutes, and have him pop in, or if I should just go ahead and get it finished and start uploading, because it's going to take a while. I don't know what to do. I think I'll just pause it. So I'll be back soon. Okay, and we're back.
Who?
Who? We. We, the royal, no, not the royal we.
We.
You and I.
We.
We are back.
We.
Dan is home from work. Pizza buns are in the oven cooking.
Mm-hmm.
He was happy to hear about the pizza buns. It made him happy in the face. Can you tell? So I wanted him to be here when I showed you what he made me for Mother's Day. Remy, you just wait just a minute. And he said he saw this idea somewhere online.
I think it was on Pinterest.
Pinterest?
Yep.
Okay. And what's it made out of?
Wood.
It's made out of wood. He's in fine form today.
Chechen.
What?
Chechen.
Chechen. From Chechnya?
I'm not sure where it comes from. You would think it would be Chechnya, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. Well, it's some sort of
Exotic. Wood.
exotic wood. So it looks like this. So it's kind of a beehive looking.
That was the idea.
That was the idea.
Most people say it looks like a beehive or a honey dipper.
Oh, okay. Or honey dipper. It has a hole with a metal, what do you call
Sleeve.
that? A metal sleeve in there. So it's to hold a pair of scissors. And he went online. I don't know if he was... Remy just picked up her food bowl and dropped it to get our attention. Because
There may be some sound effects.
she will probably pick it up again and drop it, only this time on the hard floor, so you'll hear it. Anyway, he went online and found the pair of Dinky Dies scissors that has the bees on them. Look at how detail oriented my man is.
Wow.
Yeah. So, isn't that nice? He did an excellent job. And now I kind of see like in my stash, I have a bee pattern that I want to do from Primrose Cottage, I think. And I can see it finished up and with this next to it or beside it, behind it, in front of it, somehow displayed with it on like a tray or something.
There was actually at the dollar store. There was a
Dollar
set
Tree?
set of dishes that they had, and they had a bee cup, a coffee cup that had bees, yellow and black. I almost bought one because I thought I didn't know if you were looking for any kind of a display like that, but it sounds like you may have been.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cute on a whole plate with bees around the edge or something like that. And then the finished stitching piece with it.
Oh, honey.
So anyway, that was my Mother's Day present from Dan. But he's also been working on a stand for me. I've never been able to find a stand that works for me because I stitch up here instead of down low, and most needlework stands I can't get adjusted right. So he's been working on making one to suit my needs.
Well, I thought it was cheaper than a boob reduction. So
I don't know that a boob reduction would help.
Oh.
That's God gave me the shelf and I'm gonna use it.
Okay.
So anyway, I just thought I would show you. We may need to make one more adjustment to it, but I didn't want any side arms. We borrowed, I can't remember what brand that was.
I don't know.
We borrowed a stand from, I think it was a Kay's Creation, but we borrowed a stand from one of my stitchers. So thank you, Catherine. And kind of used it as somewhat of a prototype, although hers has arms on the side. And I wanted to be able to, because I stitch up high, the arms were getting in the way. And so I wanted one that clamped on the top of my stitching and that I could adjust to get it to come down to where I like to have it. And I didn't necessarily want a floor stand. I wanted kind of more of a lap stand. So this one slides underneath my thighs. And then, but we do, I think.
I studied your thighs
Yes.
and made it exactly fit. Contour.
Okay, he contoured it, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna just kind of, so it's looks like a pair of wings, you know. So that part slides under my thighs and then it comes, but I think we need one more shorter piece here so I can adjust this part up and down. It will rotate over so I can like finish off a thread on the back. And he made it long enough so that it holds the Q-snap, because I stitch with the Q-snap. It holds that pretty securely. So I just thought I'd show that to you.
But the real story.
The real story.
The real story.
There's a
now
real
for
story.
the rest of the story. For you that have been around as long as we have, the rest of the story. It's kind of like
Remy, come here.
Apollo 13, you know, the Apollo flight that had problems and they had to fix the oxygen generator in the rocket for them. And at Houston, they had this box of stuff, and they just dumped it on the table and said, "This is what's on in the lunar module. You need to make one of these out of this." And that's kind of what she did. She had like 3 different stands. And she says,
old stands.
Here's this. Make it be. Make it so. So.
Well, I asked you if it would be helpful to have those pieces parts.
I did use some.
You did use some. Come here, Lola. Come here, Lola. Come on. There's Lola.
Have
Can
they
you say
met
hi?
Lola?
I posted her picture on Instagram. This is Lola, our newest addition. She went to the vet today, got some shots, and she needs her teethies cleaned. So I think she's going to lose several teeth. Her breath is terrible, just awful. So this was our daughter's dog, but she doesn't get along with Reese. So
Yeah.
we felt it was best she spend her remaining years away from little kids. So
She just hid in the closet most of the time.
most of the time. Sometimes Abby couldn't even find her. So Remy's trying to get Rags to play, and Rags isn't having it. So anyway, that's, I think, the end. I know there's other things I wanted to talk about, but this is already an hour and 28 minutes in, so I'm going to call this good. I will try and insert some It is heavy. I will try and insert some pictures from retreat or videos from the tables, and let me know if you want to see what didn't get worked on, and I will make a quick second video and maybe talk about those things that I know I wanted to talk about. Can't remember now.
I am making more of these. I bought 2 pairs of scissors.
Yeah, but I thought Ashanti already claimed.
Shante does want it before she saw it. Yeah.
She put dibs on it before she even saw it. She hasn't seen it yet, but she told Dan on Saturday that no, she just wanted it. So I guess the second one is already sold. Anyway, you all have a lovely evening and a good rest of the week, and I will see you in the next video, whenever that is. Take care until
I
then.
will see you in the next video too.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe. I would like that. They would like that.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.